2010 is a year of political upheaval. That's putting it mildly. More and more people are upset with Congress and deciding they're going to do something about it. This includes a record number of women who are going after seats in Congress, and these newcomers are getting inspiration in particular from some very well-known women on the political scene.
You can be so proud that from now on it will be unremarkable for a woman to win primary state victories. Unremarkable to have a woman in a close race to be our nominee. Unremarkable to think that a woman can be the President of the United States, and that is truly remarkable, my friends.
In 2010, we'll remember this year, because we're going to accomplish a lot together this year. This year will be remembered as a year when common sense conservative women get things done for our country.
Well, joining me now are three women who are first-time congressional candidates: Beth Rankin from my home state of Arkansas, Reshma Saujani from New York, and Star Parker joining us by satellite from California. All of you have decided to get involved in this year's congressional races. Record number of women out there on the ballot. Beth Ann, what about you? Now, Reshma's a Democrat, you are a Republican, so what inspired you? What made you say, I'm going to run for Congress?
Well, you know, I come from a long line of family members who have been politically engaged. And in Arkansas, as you well know, that's traditionally a Democrat entrenched state.
Yeah, I do know something about that.
You know a little bit about that, Governor Huckabee. But I tell you what, as a conservative, I've just always known who I was. And I've always believed that less government, limited government, lower taxes, individual liberty, these were precepts I believed in very strongly. And, you know, I think we've got a similar experience of looking at Capitol Hill today and looking at that and thinking, you know what, we're moving in the wrong direction right now. And as a small business owner and an independent music teacher, I was looking at the faces of my 60 students every week. And I could no longer promise them that they would know the America that I'd been blessed to grow up in. And that will keep you awake at night. And so I decided to get out of my comfort zone and get involved, and that's what I did.
Well, when you run for Congress, you're definitely out of a comfort zone. Star Parker, tell me about what motivated you to say, you know, and sorry, you and I have known each other for many, many years, and Beth Ann used to work for me, so I have a lot of personal connections here. But, you know, I didn't know you were going to run for Congress till you up and announced it. What on earth are you thinking?
I don't know that I was. I felt compelled to run. I saw the ideals of the American dream slipping away, ideals of freedom and personal responsibility. The overreach of federal government is extraordinary, and I know firsthand where government dependency leads. I was 7 years in and out of the welfare state, 3.5 years consistently, and that little dark hole is for no one. So the more we as a nation move toward more government dependency, I can see the future. I can see more despair, more hopelessness, and more movement away from the American dream. I had to run, and I had to run right now.
Beth Ann, when you are out on the campaign trail, do you find that people treat you differently because you're a female? Do they wonder why you're running for Congress? Do they give you that sort of gender issue at all, or do they not care anymore?
I think we have had some fantastic trailblazers that have gone ahead. And, you know, when I see a little bit of a difference because just traditionally speaking, I know from the different seasons of my life, I know that they might consider that something a little out of the normal to suddenly get out of your comfort zone and decide to become politically engaged as a candidate. You know, they knew I worked for you for 7 years, and like I said, I've grown up in a politically engaged family, but I grew up in the Ronald Reagan years, and that also means that I grew up under Margaret Thatcher. And so I've seen a strong political personality out there, and I've seen American leadership pay respect to that, and I've seen that work together. And so when I announced for Congress, and you might be the same way, I had no idea there was a movement of women rising up. I had no idea that I was one of many.
This was not about being a woman. This was just about convictions and principles that you said Washington needs to be fixed. If Star's still with us, I want to make sure. Yeah, Star, there you are. Yes. I want to ask you, because women have maybe a different perspective, what are issues that, as a woman, you could give attention to that you don't think a lot of the men in Congress have a clue about? And we only have a minute.
Well, you know,
I know you could probably give me an hour's worth.
Well, right. But this debate is very interesting because in my culture, it's not unusual for women to take leadership roles. And so I'm actually running against a female, and it's always been a traditional female seat, even though Laura Richardson, my opponent, is new in the Congress. But when you think about why women together in the nation are running, I think there is a sense of urgency that comes with the biological clock that they hold. This urgency gives them a deep passion and emotion. We are protecting our young. We're protecting our grandchildren. And that's why you see today more and more rising up. The threats against our country are extraordinary, and we have to do something.
Well, Star Parker, Beth Ann Rankin, and Reshma Saujani, wonderful candidates. You know, I wish I could vote for all three of you because I probably would.